My people, there is a serious development happening across the country right now. The Nigerian army has launched what they call a nationwide onslaught against criminals and insurgents. And according to reports, they've already neutralized 7 terrorists and arrested about 27 suspects. This is coming after weeks of tension in different parts of the country, especially in the north, where attacks and banditry have continued to disturb many communities. But this new military move is not just in one state. It is a coordinated operation across the entire nation. Now, from what we are hearing, the army is fully stepping up its game. They've deployed both air and ground troops to different hotspots, including Borno, Kaduna, Niger, Zamfara, and even down to the south, where criminal hideouts are being raided. The goal, they say, is to crush every remaining element of terrorism and restore full peace across the country. This operation is said to be part of a broader campaign called Operation Well Punch and Hadarin Deji, both aimed at flushing out insurgents and bandits that have been troubling rural communities for years. But here's the thing that's really catching attention. Many Nigerians are asking, why now? Why is the army suddenly intensifying these raids at this particular time? Some security analysts believe it might be linked to growing public pressure on the government to show stronger results against insecurity. We all know how the past months have been. Reports of attacks, kidnappings, and communities under siege. Many citizens are tired and have been crying for visible action, not just statements. So, seeing the army moving with full force is giving many people a bit of hope. But at the same time, people are also asking questions about human rights and whether innocent villagers might be caught up in these large-scale operations. That's why, while celebrating progress, we must also keep an eye on how the operations are being conducted. Now, according to official military sources, these latest operations were not just random raids. They were intelligence-driven, meaning before troops moved in, they had solid information about the terrorists' locations, supply routes, and hideouts. The army says that the 7 terrorists killed were part of notorious groups linked to attacks on highways and villages in northern Nigeria. In addition, 27 suspects were captured alive. Political investigations are ongoing to determine which of them have direct connections with terrorism, banditry, or other crimes. Let me tell you, this operation is part of a bigger plan by the new military leadership to change how security operations are done in Nigeria. They are combining technology, drones, and community intelligence to make their moves more precise. And that's a good step because for too long, insurgents have used forests, mountains, and local settlements as cover. If technology is truly being used this time, then there is a good chance of making lasting progress. And my people, let's not forget the courage of the soldiers on the front lines. Many of them have been in those dangerous areas for months, facing real-life threats every day. Whether it's in the hot desert of Maiduguri or the thick forests of Zamfara, these men and women are sacrificing their lives to make sure peace returns to Nigeria. So, as we discuss this, let's also appreciate their efforts and pray for their safety. But now, the question still remains. Will this new operation bring lasting peace, or will it just be another short-term success? We've seen many similar operations in the past. Operation Python Dance, Crocodile Smile, Lafia Doli, and yet, insecurity keeps coming back. So, Nigerians are now waiting to see if this one will truly be different. If you're just joining us or watching this for the first time, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification bell so that anytime we drop new updates about the situation in Nigeria, you'll be the first to get it. All right, let's continue. One thing I find very interesting about this new development is how it's happening at a time when citizens' trust in government actions is quite low. Many Nigerians have been saying that government is not doing enough, and that's why criminals feel emboldened. But this onslaught could be a turning point if it's followed up properly with justice, rehabilitation, and strong community policing. Now, beyond the terrorists and bandits, We must also talk about those who supply them weapons, logistics, and information. The army said they've been tracing sponsors and informants, which means the fight is not just in the bush, it's also in the cities. Some of the arrested suspects were said to be middlemen who help these criminals with food, fuel, and ammunition. So the fight is deep. It's not only about shooting in the forest. It's also about cutting off the money and supply chains that keep terrorism alive. At the same time, people are calling for more collaboration between the army, the police, and local vigilantes. Because one thing that has made insecurity last this long is lack of coordination. If all these security bodies can truly work together, share intelligence, and protect civilians, Nigeria will surely become safer. So, my people, what do you think? Will this new military push bring lasting peace? Or is it another headline we will forget after a few weeks? Drop your opinion in the comment section. Let's hear from you. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow and keeps us bringing you balanced and timely updates from across Nigeria. Now let's go deeper into what people are saying about this operation, because Nigerians have been reacting seriously since the news broke. Some are praising the army for finally taking bold action, while others are expressing doubt, saying they've heard the same kind of reports before. Army launches new operation, terrorists neutralized, bandits captured, but then after some weeks, everything goes quiet and attacks start again. So, the big question from the public is, will this time be different? Because honestly, Nigerians are tired of hearing numbers. They want to see real change on the ground. People want to travel without fear. They want to sleep at night without worrying about strange sounds or gunshots from nearby bushes. Farmers want to go to their farms freely again. Traders want to move goods from one state to another without paying money to criminal checkpoints. That's the kind of peace Nigerians are praying for, not just temporary peace that ends after the headlines fade. Now, from what the army said, this operation is designed to be continuous, meaning it's not going to stop after 1 or 2 weeks. The troops will be rotating across regions to maintain constant pressure on the terrorists. That's a good plan, because one problem in the past was that after a successful raid, troops would withdraw and the criminals would come back stronger. But this time, the military is promising a stay and hold strategy. They take the territory and remain there to secure it. Interestingly, we're also hearing that part of this new move is supported by intelligence from local communities. You see, in places like Katsina, Sokoto, and parts of Niger State, local hunters and vigilantes have been helping the army by identifying hideouts and giving early warning before attacks happen. This partnership is what many experts have been calling for, a people-driven security model. Because at the end of the day, no matter how strong the army is, they can't be everywhere. They need the eyes and ears of locals who know their terrains. Now let's talk about what this could mean politically. When operations like this happen, they don't exist in isolation. Sometimes they carry political weight, especially when a government is under pressure to deliver on its promises. And right now, the federal government knows that Nigerians are frustrated about insecurity, inflation, and hardship. So, this operation might also be a way to show that something tangible is being done. But what will determine its success is not the press release or the headlines. It's the results that ordinary Nigerians feel in their daily lives. And speaking of results, let me remind you again, please, if you're following this story and you want us to keep updating you on what happens next, kindly like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That's the best way you can support this channel, so we can keep bringing you verified stories, not rumors. Now back to the issue. According to reports, the arrested suspects are currently being interrogated in different military formations. Some of them were caught with weapons, charms, and even communication devices they used to alert their partners. A few were also identified as informants who supplied details about troop movements. That's serious because it shows how deep the network of these groups is. It's not just the gunmen in the bush. They have people among transporters, traders, and sometimes even local leaders. That's why intelligence gathering has become very important in this fight. Experts are also suggesting that after this military phase, the government must focus on the root causes of these problems. Many communities where banditry thrives have little or no schools, no hospitals, and no job opportunities. So even if the soldiers win the fight today, if those problems remain, new criminal groups will rise again. That's why they're calling for a two-way approach: military action plus development. Build schools, empower youth, create industries, and the number of people going into crime will surely drop. But for now, what people want to see is safety, pure and simple. We've seen so many innocent people killed, abducted, and displaced. Families torn apart, villages abandoned. So, if this onslaught can finally reduce those tragedies, then it deserves full support. Now let's talk briefly about how this has been reported internationally. Some foreign media outlets have been highlighting how Nigeria's security forces are stepping up efforts to regain control of rural areas. They say the fight against terrorism in Nigeria is not just a national issue, but also a regional one. Because when these groups get weakened in Nigeria, they sometimes run into Niger or Chad and regroup. That's why Nigeria has been working closely with neighboring countries through the multinational joint task force to make sure there's no safe haven left for these criminals. So you can see that this operation is not a small one. It's part of a broader effort to stabilize not just Nigeria, but the entire Sahel region. The real task now is consistency. Nigerians want to see this momentum continue, not just for 2 or 3 weeks. Because if the pressure continues, these terrorist groups will have no time to recover or reorganize. As I always say, this country deserves peace. We have suffered enough. And if you believe that too, please drop a comment below saying, "Peace for Nigeria." Let's keep that energy alive. And again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that you won't miss any update when we drop the next one. And on a hopeful note, if this current military campaign continues with honesty and strength, we may be entering a new chapter in the war against terrorism in Nigeria. A chapter where people can finally return home safely, where schools reopen in once abandoned towns, and where our children can grow up in peace again. That's the dream, and that's what we all should stand for. So, my people, as I close this gist, tell me what you think in the comments section. Do you believe this new onslaught will finally bring an end to terrorism? Or do you think it's just another temporary push? Drop your honest thoughts below. And please don't forget, like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we drop the next update, you'll be the first to know. Together, we'll keep following the truth and bringing you verified news, no bias, no drama, just facts and balance.